Dolly Parton is a singer and songwriter from Sevierville, Tennessee. She is the fourth of 12 children of Robert Lee Parton and Avie Lee Owens. The family lived in a rustic cabin in Locust Ridge, just north of the Greenbrier Valley of the Great Smoky Mountains. Mr. Mike Doyle of A-State, who attended graduate school in Knoxville, learned a lot about Dolly and her early beginnings during his time spent there.
I learned a lot about how she started out in Knoxville on local radio and TV, and she sang on a radio show where they had to put her up on a bunch of Coke crates because she was too short to reach the mic. I mean, she was performing at a young age. Dolly's family, her mother's side, is the Owens family, and they're from Wales originally, and the Partons are Irish, so they had a lot of, Welsh Irish. They had a lot, and I think there's some Cherokee also in there too, not at all uncommon for that part of the country. But all those musical traditions came together, and they were just a real musical family, and a big family.
Mr. Doyle got a first-hand experience with someone who actually knew Dolly while taking a class at the University of Tennessee.
And it was a small class, and we got to talking one day before the professor came in. Where was everybody from? And of course, I was from Arkansas, and they thought that was amazing. That's a long way off, from East Tennessee. But the other people were local. But one gentleman was from Sevierville, and I said, "Well, that's where Dolly Parton is from." He said, "Yes, I knew her. I graduated high school with her at Sevierville in 1964. Well, I had to ask him, what was she like? And he said, that song, "The Coat of Many Colors," which is a song about Dolly's mother, because they were poor, made her a coat from various scraps of things, and it kept her warm in the late fall, but the school kids made fun of her because it looked so strange and shabby, and it pretty much said, "I'm from a poor family." And she wrote the song, of course, which talked about how you're only poor if you want to be, if you're talking about poor in spirit, and don't make fun of something my mother made. But that's such a touching song, and he told me, he said that was true, and it was true in general that the kids in school made fun of Dolly, not just because she was poor, but because of her music that she chose to perform in public, because it was country music. But this was 1964, which meant the Beatles had just come to America. And so if you were a high school student in the 60s, of this time period in the 60s, it was not cool to like country music. And so here was Dolly, singing all this stuff during the era of the Beatles and the Four Seasons and other groups like that. And so she left that area just as soon as she graduated, went to Nashville, didn't look back, and made her career in country. And later, of course, just pop music and movies. And we all know what happened. She became just a real success story of Americana. But later, she took a lot of pride in where she's from, went back, opened up Dollywood, which is important for tourists, but also important for creating jobs in that area, because people were unemployed, and so a lot of people work at Dollywood. So she did a good turn for an area where, I won't say everyone was ugly to Dolly, but high school kids can be cruel. But what I learned from that fellow student of hers was that the kids did make fun of Dolly back in the day. So she left the area and was glad to leave. Came back later.
Since returning home, Dolly has been very influential to the area. In 1995, she founded the Imagination Library with the goal of encouraging literacy in her home state of Tennessee. Over the years, the program, which mails children age-appropriate books, has spread nationwide. Aside from her singing and philanthropy, Dolly has starred in numerous movies. Her debut performance was in 9 to 5, where she played Dora Lee Rhodes.
You know the story on 9 to 5 that I found interesting? Of course, she's in that movie with Lily Tomlin and who else they had? Jane Fonda, I think. But Dolly got the part. She didn't really understand how movies are made because she'd never been in one. She wasn't aware that they shoot those scenes out of sequence. They shoot one scene wherever it's most convenient to shoot it. So one day you may be working on scenes from the middle of the movie, and that may be the first scene you shoot. She memorized her part from start to finish as if it were going to be one shoot in order. That's Dolly, working hard, which kind of fits the theme of the movie, working hard 9 to 5. But she was very naive about movie making, I've heard, at the time. Not naive now about much of anything. Very successful businesswoman, much beloved. But Dolly just she goes beyond country, really. She's proud of where she came from. She knows who she is, but she's not been afraid to learn new things, experience new things, and expand her music. And she was really quite the pop star almost for a while, but lately she's begun to kind of go back toward her roots. She recorded a bluegrass album. And, oh, she's so versatile.